Are those weekend drinks hindering your progression for weight loss, or are they secretly holding you back from achieving the body of your dreams? Stay tuned because we are going to look at the science of how alcohol impacts fat loss. This is Coach Chris, and I'm back at it again with another video. This video was prompted by questions that I get from my clients at some point in time while they're working with me, and that's: how is alcohol going to affect me? Can I drink? If I drink, is it going to mess up anything? And maybe you have this question yourself. So stay tuned as we answer those questions. But before we get started, do me a huge favor, hit the subscribe button. If you get to the end of the video and you like the information that was given to you, do me a favor and also hit the like button. Send a comment. Let me know what it is that you enjoyed about the video. If you got anything out of it, if you want this type of content, let me know. I want to help each and every one of you the best way that I can. And if I can put out real honest information on topics that a lot of us have questions about, well, then I'm going to do that to the best of my abilities. But let's go ahead and jump into the video. Let's stop wasting time. Now, at the end of this video, whatever your decision is, make sure you are drinking responsibly. You don't want that one drink at the bar to cost you more than you bargained for. So, like I said, drink responsibly, have a good plan, and be safe. If you are on a weight loss plan, at some point in time, you're going to want to live your life a little bit. Maybe a wedding is coming up, or a birthday, or a class reunion, or anything could come up where you just want to let your hair down and enjoy life a little bit. And the question about how is alcohol going to affect it is going to be a pretty important question for you if you are trying to lose weight. At the end of this, I will give my personal recommendations about how different groups of people should handle alcohol consumption. Before I give my recommendations, let me give you the information and the science that I'm using to kind of back the response that I have. Number one, your body is going to prioritize metabolizing and using the alcohol before anything else. Why? The body views alcohol as a poison. While you might be enjoying the effects of the alcohol, maybe the relaxation or just, the liquid courage that comes with it, your body doesn't quite get the same thrill out of it as you do. So it will prioritize metabolizing alcohol so that it can use it and get rid of it as quickly as possible. This process can take up to 48 hours. And that's going to be dependent on how much alcohol and the type of alcohol you consume. When you end up having a drink, the body and the liver will end up going through a process, but at the end of it, it'll convert that alcohol into acetic acid, which is a usable, non-toxic form of the alcohol sugar. And like I said, it will prioritize this acetic acid over any other forms of energy like sugar and fat. So the next thing we know about alcohol consumption is, well, alcohol is just a form of empty calories. There is little to no nutritional value when you have a drink. And then on top of that, if you mix it with, maybe some juices or a soda, that's even more sugar and calories that you've added on top of it all. Another thing that alcohol does that I'm sure we're all familiar with is it kind of encourages us to make some poor decisions. Some of those decisions might not last for 18 years, but it might cause you to go out and eat. And you'll likely end up eating some foods that weren't on your weight loss plan. Never have I ever heard of somebody get drunk and say, man, I could really go for some Brussels sprouts or a nice salad. It's just not how it works. You're probably going to go for some foods that are greasy and full of sugar because that's what the body ends up craving. Alcohol also causes your blood sugar levels to become unstable. When you initially drink the alcohol, well, your blood sugar is going to go up, especially if you're talking about a beer, a wine, or a mixed drink. But after that, well, your body's going to start prioritizing burning the alcohol, which is going to kind of cause your blood sugars to then drop. It's also possible that you could go hypoglycemic or really low blood sugar. And when this happens, the body's going to tend to crave those fatty and sugary foods to try to help get the blood sugar back up. But you're probably going to overeat, causing your blood sugars to spike upwards again. And then you're going to end up going through this cycle of ups and downs in your blood sugar levels. Those ups and downs are only going to create a lot of cravings for foods that you probably shouldn't be eating, or at least limiting. Also, alcohol does impact the liver, and I'm sure a lot of us have heard of this, but the liver helps to metabolize fats, which, if your goal is weight loss, that's a very important thing. And next, here's a list of things that alcohol consumption can impact on the hormonal level. Some of these hormonal issues can include lower testosterone levels in men, which could result in a lower sex drive or the inability to rise to the occasion. Increased estrogen in women, which can lead to breast cancer if in a chronic state. It can also cause a rise in your cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone. And when left unattended, well, cortisol wrecks the body. It's just going to send it all over the place. Also, the leptin and ghrelin hormones, which are responsible for Also, the leptin and ghrelin hormones, which are responsible for satiety and the hunger signaling, respectively, those hormones get out of whack as well. So it could lead to improper signaling of being hungry, or maybe that lack of signaling that you're full. In other words, overeating. Also, alcohol is going to negatively impact your thyroid hormones. And when those become negatively impacted, you end up with things like feeling fatigue or overeating or decreased weight loss. All that to say, well, when your hormones start to get unbalanced, your body is going to go through some issues. So let me give you a scenario. That way you can visualize this process a little bit better. On a normal weight loss program, you're probably looking at about a 500 calorie deficit, meaning every day you are eating 500 calories lower than your maintenance calorie intake. At the end of that week, you will have been in a deficit of a total of 3,500 calories, or that roughly equals a pound. If we look at a week where we have a drink and let's say on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, everything's going to plan, and then you get invited out on Thursday night. And we'll just say all you did was have a couple of drinks, and that equaled out to about 500 calories. So that Thursday, you were not at a deficit, you were just at zero. So not a deficit and not a surplus. Doesn't seem that bad, except let's consider you could also be looking at the following day or longer, your body not burning the calories or sugars and fats for weight loss because it's prioritizing alcohol. So your Friday is likely to have been a zero as well. And then your Saturday and Sundays are back to a 500 calorie deficit. That comes out to 2,500 calorie deficit over the course of the week. Again, this doesn't seem that bad considering, the week without alcohol was 3,500. It's about a 1,000 calorie difference. But let's also consider a little bit more of reality. You go out drinking on Thursday, you are probably more likely to have multiple drinks, but you're also likely to eat with it. How often do people just drink and not have anything to eat? That's not a very common thing. So we'll just give a very modest 1,000 calories surplus for that Thursday between drinks and food. But again, let's remember your Friday is probably not going to be a situation where your body's using those calories. So we'll just call that zero again, even though it could be still on the plus side. And then your Saturdays and Sundays still back at 500. And In this, I feel like it's pretty modest and forgiving, because the effects of the alcohol could last even more than just the 24 hours. It could last into Saturday and maybe even Sunday, depending on how much alcohol you drank. But in this scenario, you're at a 1,500 caloric deficit by the end of the week. That's 2,000 calories difference from the situation of not having any alcohol. Or you're looking at another week. Now, that 1,500 calorie deficit is going to mean that week is. So if your goal is to get the weight off and get it off fast, you can see that alcohol can potentially slow the process down, and it could slow it down dramatically if left unchecked. So here are my recommendations, and I'm going to break this up into 3 different groups. Group 1 is going to be bodybuilders, powerlifters, or any performance-based athletes. If this is you, you should not be taking any kind of alcohol while you're on your prep. It's going to create so many variables, including, dealing with dehydration, which is going to affect your ability to train better and train hard, along with all the hormonal issues and the sleep issues that I didn't even mention. Bottom line, if you're on prep for something, stay away from alcohol. That is your best bet. Group number 2 would be, you're a weight loss client, but you want to get this weight off and you want to get it off quick. However, you still want to live your life a little bit along the way. My recommendation for you is limit the amount of alcohol that you're taking, and also be aware of the eating habits that can be associated with drinking. Maybe prepare to have some food there, or drink with your last meal of the day, or whatever meal you're scheduled to have. That way you don't end up going out and ending up at Waffle House at 1 a.m. I think I just told on myself. Yeah. But lately it's been Whataburger, but I digress. Now, that last group, if you are still a weight loss client, but you're in no real hurry, this is more of a slow kind of pace for you, and you just want to get the weight off and live a healthy lifestyle, well, I would suggest, refraining from drinking multiple times a week, and maybe even not even weekly. And while you're drinking, make sure still to have a plan in terms of eating habits. This way, you don't end up losing an entire week or more because of, one night of drinking or multiple nights of drinking. The honest truth is the body still views alcohol as poison. So you should probably still limit that. Alcohol consumption also has a lot of negative impacts on different organs in the body. Make sure that you're drinking responsibly, but make sure you're drinking according to what your goals are. It'd be a shame. It gets frustrating for people to stick to the plan, but then watch their progression stall because they're drinking alcohol and they didn't even know it. This is Coach Chris. I hope you got something out of this video. And for now, we're done. Catch you in the next video.